I fear for the future of my loved ones. I fear for the future of your loved ones. So I've come to ask for help. Who is your superhero? Is it Spider-Man, maybe? Is it Wonder Woman? Or maybe it's Greta Thunberg. I had the honor of meeting Greta before she became the icon of the climate movement. It was in Stockholm. I had just finished giving a speech, and my fellow climate activist called me and said, there's this young girl sitting in front of the parliament. And she's sitting there with a sign stating she's school striking for the climate. And my friend Pericles said, let's go there and let's do an interview with Greta. We didn't know her name was Greta then, of course. And this interview became, to my knowledge, the first taped interview with Greta Thunberg. I have interviewed many powerful people. But I tell you, when I sat down next to this young woman, I had goosebumps. I immediately knew that this girl was using her superpowers. And when I, 6 months later, showed this interview on big screens at the United Nations in New York, I had goosebumps again. And I made the delegates stand up to show their commitment to the young climate activists in the room. We all have superpowers. And today I'm going to share with you how you can access them and also become a climate hero. We are in a desperate hurry. We know this, all of us, we know this, right? We know that we have until 2030 to halve our emissions. That means exponentially we have to drop, all of us, we have to drop 7 to 8% every year exponentially in order to avoid our planet becoming hothouse Earth. But to be able to do this requires unprecedented action, right? We need all hands on deck. And to get that to happen, we need to get to people to realize their contribution matters. All of our contribution matters in this race to zero. We need to realize that we all have superpowers, all of us. And we need to realize how to access them. That's where the chair comes in. I'll explain later. My superpower? Well, that is that I don't fear stages. I actually love being on a stage. And I do it all the time because I feel that I have a message to talk about climate action all the time. Greta's superpower? Well, that's her Asperger's. She's been very open with this, right? And your superpower, that might be that you're a business leader, setting really, really strict climate targets, inspiring others in your field. Your superpower might be that you love to cook, and that you cook more plant-based and inspire others to eat more climate-friendly. If you're a politician, it could be setting a stop date to fossil fuels. The small island of Åland between Sweden and Finland is actually proposing this just 2 weeks ago. So, we all have superpowers. But the most important superpower of them all, that we all have, is to add our voice to the voices of the organizations already working for climate action. The power of the many is the strongest power of them all. And we can all tap into that. There are many climate heroes out there. Let's check in now with one who's quite unexpected.
I was arrested 4 times in 12 days when we were working with Extinction Rebellion. Some criminal damage. One was intending to write with chalk spray paint outside Downing Street. Another was actually doing that same thing in Whitehall, act no. I didn't think I was doing criminal damage, I thought I was speaking the truth. There was a freelance photographer and he said, what are you charged with? And I said, protecting the earth. And he said, where are they taking you? And I said, heaven. So, yeah. I take the law very seriously. I was a probation officer and I was training probation officers, basically a law-abiding guy. But when the law is supporting corporations in ruining the earth, I'm not accepting that at all. Because elders are not usually doing this in this country, it's a bit of a shock to people. We have extraordinary social power if we're willing to use it. If there's any elders out there, please listen to that. Come and join us.
Phil, well, his superpower, that's his age. He fears nothing but for the future of the children. Nasreen Alamin here on the image. She is from Nigeria. Her superpower, that's her extensive knowledge of education and communication. When she realized that her peers in Nigeria, they did not have enough knowledge about climate change, she started the organization Search Africa to empower the youth with knowledge. Paris during the COP. I went there with my 3 daughters, and the other people in this image I had not met before. Well, we had met online, many late hours, deciding what to do to push climate action forward. In Paris, we formed the organization Our Kids Climate. We were 8 countries represented in Paris, and we had already gathered 100,000 signatures that were handed to the head of the COP, Christiana Figueres, inside the COP. And when Ban Ki-moon gave his thank you speech, he had a sentence in there thanking the parents. Again, the power of the many. This organization has now representatives working in 57 countries. In 57 organizations in 19 countries that push for climate action from the perspective of the young. Again, the power of the many. Again, who really got this is Ingmar Rentzhog. He founded the organization We Don't Have Time. We don't have time. Well, we don't have time. And this is the largest social network pushing for climate action. Besides being the greatest site for information and news about climate action, you can really engage in society by posting climate warnings to companies that do bad, or to politicians, or to individuals easily on this platform. And you can give climate love to those that do great stuff for the planet. You just create a climate climate review, and when you get enough likes, the staff at We Don't Have Time contact the person or the organization and ask him or her to engage in dialogue. So this is really clever. Again, the power of the many. 700,000 people are already on this to push for change. We know that only 25% of a group, that's a minority, right, is required to change the perception of a majority. And we see this happening now, fast. Very much thanks to Greta and her peers. The power of the many again. But in order for this to happen more quickly, we need to be able to access our core values. We need to be able to access the rocket fuel and to be able to understand, what is my superpower? Clark Kent, he used a phone booth. You only need to breathe. I have been a yoga instructor for 16 years, and I know for sure that when you allow yourself to be still, breathe deeply, you connect with your deeper values. And all of us have values about the survival for the next generation, right? So when we're in the middle of this hustle and bustle of our everyday life, sometimes we lose our bearings and we lose the connection with our deeper values. But when we get to sit with ourselves and breathe, we get hold of those values and we can put them to work for the planet. So now, the chair. We will now do a simple and lovely breathing exercise. So please plant your feet, those of you watching, not here in the theater, or well, you're going to sit properly anyway. Hip width apart. Place your palms on your thighs and just close your eyes. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders, and just turn your focus inwards towards your breath. When you inhale, you do it through your nose, and when you exhale through your nose. So when you inhale, the stomach moves out slightly from your chest, from your back, and then your chest. And when you exhale, the chest and your stomach moves back towards your back. To make it even easier, place your right hand on your chest and your left hand on your abdomen. So breathe in through your nose, abdomen and then chest expands away from your back. Fill your lungs. And when you exhale, your chest and then your abdomen goes back towards your back. Long, lovely breaths. Inhale, stomach goes out, chest goes out. Fill your lungs. Exhale, your chest goes back into your spine and then your abdomen. Just keep at it in your own pace. Stay with a long, tall back. Soft shoulders, soft face. And just inhale and exhale. And focus on your breath. Magical stuff happens in your system, in your physical system, in your mental system, in your spiritual system when you do this. So just keep breathing. A few more breaths. Inhale, fill your lungs, and just follow the breath in and out. Lovely. Connect deep inside. A few more breaths. Go in and out. And place your palm back on your thighs. And gently now, open your eyes. Thank you. When I do this, I connect with my rocket fuel. And that's love. Nod if that is what you found in there too. You're nodding. I find love for nature, but also for these 3 young women in the picture. Those are my daughters. And I find love for all living creatures on this beautiful place we call home, planet Earth. So when you do this regularly, for longer periods than we just had time to do this today here, you get to tap into your rocket fuel. And you are able to identify what you can do. Because we all have such an important part to play in this race to zero. I'm going to sign off now with an image that my eldest daughter drew. And this is a good quote to carry with us into the future, right? Thank you. And remember, not all heroes wear capes.